2 businesses in a very small space. And that has been a problem lately, because that means that I can't be producing the videos that I normally do, because there is a big shipment from the other business sitting in the way. I'm gonna show you. And well, this is the tiny space that I have to be able to walk. And that's my normal recording corner. So somehow I need to sit there while having all of this stuff in the way for the lighting. But we're gonna figure it out, because I really want to record and tell you about everything that is going to happen. I think you are a little bit low, or I am a little bit high. But since that one broke, we need to figure out how to get you about this much higher up. Oh well. Let's try to do this. Hi, and welcome to First Days with Johanna. I'm Johanna. This is my studio here in south of Sweden. It's been a while. If you've seen the intro, you know that it's not quite the optimal recording place at the moment. It's a little bit too much stuff in here, I must say. Life. I shouldn't say life is what life is, because you always have a choice somehow. But at the moment, this space is full of boxes that is for my other business. I also sell cloth nappies under the name Tots, and you find all the info about that one in tots.se. Now, we're not here to talk about cloth nappies, we're here to talk about yarn and knitting, and that's what we're going to do. And a little bit life stuff, because there is a big thing that is happening at the moment within SKeW. And the coming month, I will be launching something new, which is actually a SKeW Business Academy. Not only a knitting academy, we will have a business academy as well. And that is something that I've been dreaming about for some time and working towards almost this summer, mostly in my head, but still working on it. And now I'm finally ready to get everything sorted and published to you. So if you own a knitting business or a wool business or a yarn business of some sort and are interested in more, well, we're going to start with marketing. We're going to do some social media stuff. We're going to do some time management, because that is a big thing, isn't it, right? And even if you have another business that are interested in this kind of stuff, then sign up to the waiting list, and it's linked below. And you will get first-hand notice when the doors actually open to SKeW Business Academy. Now, that was it. That was all the business administrative things. I really think that it was it. I got interrupted while setting this up. I had to do some fidgeting to get everything on the right level and to find space to actually record. And in the meantime, my small dog escaped from the yard into my neighbor's sheep. And she tried to herd them. Do you say that? Well, yeah, she tried to gather them all together. And she's not that kind of dog. She's not a herding dog. Well, the breed is actually, but not for sheep, it's for cattle. So I guess she wasn't really using sheep methods to do it. She was barking a lot. And I had to go into the sheep pen to actually get her out. So I'm distracted, a little bit out of breath, because that was something that got me started for sure. All the sheep are fine, looks fine at least, and the dog is inside, secure with the big dog. And I think she's gonna stay there, because she was quite tired when I got a hold of her. Oh my gosh, not something that I recommend for anyone, actually, but it is what it is. everything went fine. I will make sure that she won't be going in there again. So it's gonna be very, very secure around our yard, and she will only be going outside of our yard in a leash. So she won't hurt the sheep. Because that is our friends, right? We want the sheep's wool to be able to do pretty stuff with. I have some knitting for you. I have a finished object. I have 3 things that I'm working on, and yeah, I think that is it. So shall we be starting with the thing that I actually finished? I did bring them over here. Okay. I finished my confetti mittens. This is a pattern from SKeW, and it will be included in my advent calendar. So I used SKeW number 1 for this mittens, and they're actually for a Christmas gift, so they are a little bit small for me, but let's see. Like this, there is a structure pattern combined with 2-color knitting in 3 colors, and a plain just colorwork thumb on that. I really, really like this knit. It was so fun to knit with, or knit. And since you change colors or you just use them 2 rounds and then the structure and then 2 rounds again, it builds quite fast because you can see the progress. And that is something that I really like when I'm knitting, that I can see the progress. And these have a corrugated rib. That's a little bit fiddly to start with, but it gets easier and easier, I will say, and I really enjoy working that. So yeah, the confetti mittens by SKeW, and they will be included in my advent calendar. And there is still very few advent calendars left in my shop. And that will be the last thing that I will dye in a while. Because as I'm launching my business academy, I come to realize that something needs to go. And at the moment, that is yarn dyeing. So at end of October, I will be closing my webshop for yarn. So if you want to grab something, go in there, check it out now. I will update everything next week. So everything gets out there, because at the moment I have some hanks laying around that are not in the shop yet. Next week, everything will be heading out to the shop. And then the shop will close end of October. And that is something that have made me feel sad, and it's made me feel all kinds of feels. But at the moment, that is the way it has to be. My working days are a little bit too short for me to handle yarn dyeing efficiently. And yeah, right now I want to focus that time on launching SKeW Business Academy instead. And then I can always come back to yarn dyeing, right? It's not the end forever, it's the end for right now. So I will be focusing on SKeW Knitting Academy and SKeW Business Academy. And we will see some more knitting courses and some business courses going forward, together with more patterns. Of course, I'm not giving up on that. I actually have my latest pattern in here. This is a bag from ABS Creative with cornflowers on. And I really, really like it. It's so well done. It has a white interior, and there are 3 small pockets on the inside where you can stuff things. And in here I have my new lace shawl. It's not quite done. I was hoping to get it ready for Friday, when I will have a knitting workshop in Hö. It's really close to here. So I will just be traveling like 20 kilometers to be having a knitting course, and it will actually be all weekend. So we're starting Friday and finishing it off on Sunday, and it will be amazing. right? I will be teaching about lace, and the participants will be making their own lace pattern. And what I've heard, there are some spare spots still available, so if you want in on that, let me know and I will do my best. But it's this weekend, so 23rd to 25th of September. But here is my lace shawl. As you can see, I have a little bit of a different lace pattern here in the middle, and then we have this big one. And it's coming to its end. I'm on the last repeat, and then we will have some kind of edge going out to finish it off. This one is a triangular shawl, and so it's growing outwards. I'm knitting this one in a new yarn. Right, I've decided not to dye anymore and I'm testing out a new yarn. I can't really understand my mind from time to time, but I really like this yarn. This one is a super smooth 6-ply, I will say. 8-ply merino. Organic merino, so it's not superwashed, it's organic, and it's really round yarn. And I only worked this lace shawl so far, but I like the touch of it, I like to work with it, and I actually dyed it a little bit to try it out. And we will see. Maybe I get some kits available for this shawl later on, so I get to dye a little bit. Otherwise, there will be white kits available for this shawl for sure when the pattern is released. That was the design thing that I'm working on at the moment, and at this point, it's taking up quite a lot of my knitting time. But you can't go, or I can't go without having socks on my needles. So I dug deep into my yarn cabinet and found a Highland handmade hank that I turned into a cake. This one was called The First Fall. All the oranges and browns and some pops of green in there, and yellow, of course. And I haven't made it that far on this one. Still on the toe, but a couple of rounds and working my way onto completing the toe increases. As normal, I'm knitting toe up with my SKeW needles, magic loop, one at a time, needle size 2.25 millimeters, and I'm heading for 72 stitches because that is what my foot likes, in my tension at least. But this is really fun to knit with, and I'm so excited about how it knits up, and it's a different yarn. I haven't tried this yarn before. Since it's dyed in the US, I'm not sure we can get this yarn base here. So it's really interesting to knit with. Yeah. Let's see how long those socks will be on my needles. I'm guessing for the rest of the year, because they are not actively worked on at the moment. This is one thing that you also seen before. This is my sweater from Aneta, and it's called Comfort Zone sweater. And it's been really nice to work with, especially since I'm going a little bit outside of my comfort zone at the moment. And on this sweater, I decided to knit a sleeve. So I paused working on the body, put them onto another needle, and started working on my sleeve instead. And I think I'm like 4 rounds until I'm gonna start decreasing on the sleeve. But yeah, this sweater is worked in SKeW number 3 in the colorway Sand, and SKeW Fluff in the colorway Natural Gray. Natural Gray it is. And those two held together, it's just the softest of the softest. SKeW number 3 is a untreated merino 2-ply yarn with that is very soft in itself, but you can also get a couple of pills. This sweater is from SKeW number 3, and well, you get a halo out of pure merino. That is, this one is not very tightly spun either, so you get a halo from the merino fibers, and that's the way merino works. It's super soft, but it also pills. Pairing it together with a fluff yarn keeps it down a little bit more because you already have the fluff, and the fluff is gonna take most of the wear. So that is a tip if you want to have this super soft and still get something that you like out of it. That was the 3 things that I'm knitting on. That was the thing that I've completed, but I also went to a yarn shop this last month, right? Yeah, it was beginning of September. I went to a yarn shop. I haven't been in a yarn shop for ages actually, because I have all my yarn here, right? I don't need to go anywhere. That's gonna change a little bit since I'm not dyeing anymore, and I'm gonna be heading more towards the yarn shops, I really hope. But I went into Johanna and I found this one, this Luna yarn. It's from recycled wool, and I really fell in love with the color, and I want to pair that one too with SKeW fluff. So this is fluff in steel blue. These two together will make a really nice scarf. I have a plan. I know how to work it. And they will come after I'm done with something here. Because 3 things on the needles is about as much as I can take care of. And if you watched my, what was it called? Shame bucket of whips, you know that it's not actually 3 things on the needles. There are a little bit more, but let's just pretend it's just 3 things, okay? Let's keep it like that, because I don't know. Yeah, let's just do that, okay? Yeah. I think that was about all the things that I've been knitting on. I can't show you new things that I've dyed because I don't really have that. I have those loose skeins laying, but I will show you all of those things that aren't in the shop at the moment, that will be going into the shop next week. I will show off them next week in the next video, and you will find everything in the shop at that point of time, okay? So next week you will find everything in my shop. Now, there has been a little bit of adventures outside of knitting, so stick around and I will show you a little bit more. This is it. Me here in the grass, enjoying my knitting, together with her, enjoying her time in the sandbox.
Det är bara katter. De här bladen lite var som helst.
Tilda!
We went corn picking today. It's something that is fun to do, and it gets results quite easily. It's very easy to get a full bag of corns and just pop them in the freezer, and they are ready for whenever you like them. We harvested all onions here for some weeks ago now, and now we have added some compost, so that's why the dog is really interested. And now I'm planting some greens to suit us through the fall. Here is some Australian jelly or some lettuce that I will plant, and hopefully have some lettuce for the fall. Here is all of the leafy greens that I planted. 2 different kinds of oh my gosh, salad lettuce. One that is called Australian gel and American brown. New Zealand spinach. black cabbage and green cabbage and 2 kinds of portulac. I don't know if that is the English name for it, but let's hope. I went for a walk in a new to me forest. This was a nature reserve, and in the description it said that it had a big creek going through it. This is supposed to be a big stream of water, and you can see the small amount coming through right now. I would say that it's because we have had a very dry summer, very dry spring, and a very dry winter. So the water levels are really low everywhere here, and I know it's worse in other parts of the world. But isn't that all because of the climate change? That we are not doing enough to actually save the planet? I'm at least determined to do everything I can to fight climate change, to save future generations. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next week. Until then, happy knitting! Bye!